Welcome back to The Explainer. Today, we are unpacking a story that has been going absolutely viral. And honestly, it is a truly heartbreaking morality tale. It's all about a young guy named Tunde, his incredibly hardworking mother, and a series of choices that lead to a completely unforgettable climax. We're going to walk through this entire journey together, diving into some pretty heavy themes like ego, the reality of poverty, and the weight of our memories. So let's just jump right in. He was ashamed of his own mother because she was poor. This hooks us right from the start, doesn't it? There's no long, drawn-out build-up here. We are immediately thrown into this deeply uncomfortable, incredibly raw human emotion. Tunda isn't just frustrated by having no money, he is fundamentally ashamed of his own roots. And you really have to keep that in mind because literally everything that happens next in this story is driven by that one deep-seated feeling. Part 1, A Mother's Painful Sacrifice. Now, to really get where Tunde's shame is coming from, we have to look at how he grew up. Picture this. They lived in a tiny, broken-down house. It wasn't just poor, it was a life of pure survival. His mother was out there selling food by the side of the road, doing literally whatever it took just to make sure her son had something to eat. And the crazy thing is, through all of that grueling work, her message to him every single day was just bursting with hope. She'd tell him, "My son, one day you will be great." But Tunde? He didn't care. His reaction was just pure resentment. He absolutely hated their life. He couldn't see the massive sacrifices she was making. He only saw the struggle and the embarrassment. Which brings us to part 2, the ultimate rejection. So as Tunde gets a bit older, that internal friction just skyrockets. You know how brutal school can be, right? Well, when his private shame meets the public scrutiny of his classmates, things take a very dark turn. His friends relentlessly laughed at him. They'd mock him every single day, shouting, "Your mother is just a roadside seller." This social pressure acts like gasoline on a fire. He isn't just poor at home anymore. He's being publicly humiliated by it, setting the stage for an absolute breaking point. And that leads to a truly devastating moment. One day, out of the blue, his mother shows up at his school, and she's wearing her usual old, worn-out clothes. Tunde is just completely overwhelmed by embarrassment in front of those same kids who mock him. And he snaps. He literally shouts at her, "Don't come here again." Can you imagine? The result is just heartbreaking. His mother turns around and goes home crying all alone. This wasn't just some random teenage mood swing. This was a profound, deeply hurtful rejection of the one person who sacrificed everything for him, simply because she didn't fit the cool image he wanted to project. Moving on to part 3, wealth and forgetting. Fast forward a few years, and ironically, the mother's prediction from when he was a kid actually comes true. Tunde becomes great, well, at least in a material sense. He becomes incredibly rich. He gets the huge house, the flashy cars, the whole 9 yards. But with all that success comes a really dark choice. He never goes back home. He completely forgets about his mother. You see, the wealth didn't magically cure his shame. It just gave him the means to physically run away from it. He totally abandoned his past, leaving behind the exact woman whose roadside hustle literally kept him alive. Part 4, The Tragic Return. But here's the thing about your past. You really can't outrun it forever. One day, a single phone call changes absolutely everything. The voice on the other end simply says, "Your mother is dead." Just 4 words, but they instantly pop that wealthy, comfortable little bubble Tunde had built for himself. It's this massive, jarring shock to the system that violently forces him to finally turn around and face the reality of what he did and the mother he just cast aside. So Tunde finally makes the trip back to his village after so many years away. He walks up to that same small, broken house from his childhood, but now it's entirely empty.
after so many years away. He walks up to that same small, broken house from his childhood. But now,
It's entirely empty. She's gone. It's just completely silent. Then, a neighbor walks over and silently hands him a letter. Think about the pacing here. It's suddenly not about the fast cars or the bank accounts anymore. It's just a broken man standing in an empty room, holding a single piece of paper that holds the very last thing his mother will ever say to him.
which takes us to our final section, a mother's last words. Tunde opens the envelope, and the words inside completely rewrite his entire life story. The letter reads, "My son, I came to your school that day because I was sick. I wanted to see you one last time." Just wow. Think back to that awful moment of rejection, the day he was so embarrassed by her clothes, the day he yelled at her and banished her. She wasn't there to embarrass him. She was there because she knew she was dying. This unbelievable twist reveals this massive, quiet burden she was carrying, all while he was obsessing over his social status.
And she finishes her letter with this line: "I am proud of you, even if you are ashamed of me." That is the literal definition of unconditional love. Despite how cruel he was, despite decades of totally ignoring her, her very last thoughts were of pride for her son. Reading this, Tunde just collapses to the ground, sobbing. The sheer weight of his own ego, his years of ignorance, and his mother's unrelenting love just crashes down on him, all at the exact same time. But it was too late. Those words are honestly the starkest, most unchangeable part of this entire story. All the tears, all the regret, all the money in the world, none of it can rewind the clock. He finally gets it. He finally understands her sacrifice. But the chance to actually say thank you, to apologize, or to just tell her he loves her, that opportunity is permanently gone. And that brings us to the core takeaway for us today, because this isn't just a story about Tunde, right? It's a direct, incredibly powerful warning. Don't wait until it's too late to love the ones who sacrificed everything. It really leaves us with a question we all need to ask ourselves. Who in your life has suffered or sacrificed so you could succeed? And are you waiting way too long to actually acknowledge them? Seriously, don't let your ego cloud what actually matters in life. Thank you so much for hanging out with me for this explainer. Keep learning, keep reflecting, and I will see you in the next one.